Welcome everybody to yet another day for the I-League Season number 2 Southeast Asian Qualifiers. It is going to be a best of 3 series between Genysis and MVP.Phoenix. It is the semi-final for this as well, so both teams have gotten pretty far already. Genysis, I think their pretty much hardest opponent so far has been G-Guard, which they overcame 2-1. MVP.Phoenix though, they beat, I do believe it was Execration in the round 3 match in a best of 3. 2-0 straight off. Then another 2-0 against, I don't even remember who to be honest, but MVP.Phoenix have been looking extremely solid. So we shall see if they can actually continue on with their performance or not. But MVP, Lycan and Ogre Magi banned out, whereas Genysis have taken out the Jakiro and of course that Brewmaster as well. I mean, Jakiro I guess is definitely a popular hero, but how is it worthy enough? I'm not too sure. I haven't seen too much of MVP.Phoenix myself. I do believe I only casted like one game of them in the last month. Not even the entire series, just one game. But picking up a Death Prophet, I guess that hero is just popular anywhere and pretty much with any single team as well. Whereas Genysis, what will their first picks be? Viper is available if they want to go for that route. Vengeful, of course, always a good hero. You can go for like a Skyraf Mage to follow. Any other support might do fine. Elder Titan, of course, also available. MVP.Phoenix might pick up the Elder Titan themselves, of course, if they wish to do so. Just because Death Prophet and Elder Titan are a crazy combination. Elder Titan with the Natural Order reduces the base armor to pretty much 0 if you don't have any bonus armor items, if you don't have like a Ring of Aquila, Vladimir's, Assault Kuras, something along those lines. But, well, I mean, Death Prophet is definitely a good hero to have even without the Elder Titan, I guess. So what could the other possible pick be? If they want to, they can just grab the Tidehunter, for example. I can't believe I almost forgot that hero. Tidehunter definitely a strong or a damn strong offlaner. If not, you can go for like a Centaur as well if that would be your just preferred choice instead. But Genysis having a Razor and Vengeful Spirit. Razor is one of the heroes I have mixed feelings towards. It can be extremely strong, but if you kind of fall behind, you don't really have flash farming capabilities, or at least not that much. Plasma Field definitely helps out if you compare him to something like a Chaos Knight, for example, I guess. But MVP.Phoenix picking up an early Slark. It is decent-ish against the Razor, I guess. You can just pounce out of the Static Link, for example, something like that. But Slark, I guess overall just such a slippery hero, so hard to pin him down, especially if he has Dark Pact level 4 already. Only a 6-second cooldown. You just purge off all the debuffs all the freaking time. And the Shadow Dance, of course, allows you to more or less escape anything. Earlier on, you can still get bursted down, just because you don't have the greatest health pool. But once you get like the Eye of Skadi going after the Power Dress Blink, something along those lines, you might just completely overtake things. Now though, looking at the second set of bans, MVP.Phoenix started with a Timbersaw ban. Well, I did say that Slark can get bursted down, and Timbersaw, one of the burst or most burst heavy heroes in the game pretty much, also brings a lot of pure damage with him. So that's taken out. But do MVP.Phoenix want to go for some form of just melee core still, or melee just strength heroes in general? Those are the heroes that just struggle most against the Timbersaw. Dazzle also banned out. They don't want anybody to be kept alive. So what will the next picks be? Are they going to be something like a Skyraf Mage for MVP.Phoenix maybe? Something that is rather burst heavy and yet does not want to get just shallow graved out. Something like those lines. Of course, Dazzle would be just a pretty good pick up against Death Prophet's Exorcism in general, just because you apply a defensive weave before you go into battle. And your team will just be so stacked on armor that the Exorcism's effectiveness is just heavily diminished thanks to that. But Genysis panning out an Elder Titan, it definitely makes sense. I was semi-expecting, or it would have made sense for MVP.Phoenix to go for it earlier on as well. But now, third pick, Genysis. What's it gonna be? Do we see another support now? Do we see a Skyraf Mage for themselves? Maybe something like a Witch Doctor maybe wouldn't be too bad either. Death Ward would get buffed up by a little bit by the Wave of Terror of the Vengeful, just providing the minus armor to their team. But it's going to be a Faceless Void instead, so we're gonna get a massive teamfight ultimate for Genysis now. I mean, Chronosphere, pretty damn good against Slark, of course. Slippery as he may be, Chronosphere still shuts you down. Maybe sometimes the hardest part is actually landing the Chronosphere. Oh god. MVP now. They even picked up an IO, so it's just gonna make the life of Genysis a lot harder. Slark, usually pretty hard to bring him down. With an IO backing him up, it is doubly hard, at least. You can just relocate him to safety if need be. Overcharge to just keep him alive for longer. Not to mention the tether heals coming through anyway. But I'm interested to see if MVP.Phoenix want to go for like another IO partner, although probably it's going to be the Slark after all, with Death Prophet mid, so just picking up some offlaner. They could even try or think about running something like that Legion Commander IO offlane, depending on what Genysis would have to counter that. I've seen it just wreck tri-lanes in certain situations, but Genysis, they are going for the huge team fight, picking up an Enigma now as well. So Black Hole also one of just the good ways to deal with a Slark. Even if you Shadow Dance, you can still Black Hole him. Shadow Dance will usually wear off a little bit before the Black Hole, of course. So Genysis having a Chronosphere and a Black Hole at their disposal. MVP, so far they completely lack the lockdown, and well, having picked up a Bristleback, I guess that's gonna be their dual offlane, unless they want to run like a Slark +1 offlane, IO Bristleback mid lane. Although I doubt that, especially if it should be up against a Razor. So Bristleback IO offlane definitely wouldn't be too bad, but what's Genysis' last pick gonna be? At the moment, it does look like Faceless Void is gonna be the offlane, with Razor most likely heading towards the mid lane, Enigma jungle, and Vengeful +1 being on the safe lane. So it's going to be somewhat tricky for Genysis to just deal with the Bristleback, I guess, with the IO backing him up. Especially if the IO should go for the straight off bottle build. Just don't buy anything, not a single item, no supporting, no nothing. Have the just other support, buy up everything, the wards, the courier, maybe even sentries if you want to sacrifice just all of the gold on him. But usually you just forego sentries in those cases early on. Although against an Enigma it might still be worth it, so IO might not be rushing it, just get sentries instead. If not though, just pull up your gold, wait the extra like 50 seconds, pick up the bottle, and be done with it. But Bristleback, I mean, definitely a tanky hero. Death Prophet builds himself semi-tanky as well most of the time. Also has the Yule Scepter and is just speedy in general. Slark, Slippery Fish with the IO backing up really anybody. But one great thing that Genysis already have to kind of deal with the Bristleback is going to be the Midnight Pulse. That hero, yes, he tanks up quite a hell of a lot, but Midnight Pulse, the more health you have, like the max health, the more max health you have, the more damage you will take by the Midnight Pulse. But Genysis, 5th pick. What's it gonna be? Some safe laner? I guess you can try to go for something like a Medusa. The Stone Gaze definitely wouldn't be a bad thing against what MVP.Phoenix has. You can even go for something like a Morphling, I guess, if you want to. Just since Morphling gets a lot, or is built around mostly stats, you will get a lot of agility, which means you will have a lot of armor. And up against what MVP.Phoenix has, that would be rather excellent for you. If not, though, they can still pick up an offlaner as well, for example. Run like a Faceless Void Vengeful safe lane if they want to with Enigma jungle, Razor mid. They could even run Enigma offlane for that matter, and still pick up a support in anticipation of MVP.Phoenix's tri-lane. So, or not tri-lane, a dual offlane rather. So you would actually have a tri-lane to put against that, instead of a pseudo tri-lane with Enigma actually jungling, rather than just helping out the lane at all. So they might go for that route. Actually, I wouldn't be like super opposed to that one with an Enigma being offlane. It may, in some regard at least, it would give them somewhat stronger laning. But if the Enigma can be jungle and can do so unpunished, like his camps aren't warded, nobody comes into the jungle, but they do pick up a Centaur, so lots of aggression from Genysis. Now they have a hero that can constantly fight even without the ultimates pretty much. Also Stampede, a pretty excellent ability, just make it out from, for example, the nasal goo of the Bristleback. But Disruptor, it's going to be a great pick against Enigma, of course. Even against Centaur, whether he comes in aggressively with a Stampede or just wants to escape with the Stampede. Just glimpse anybody back. Also Static Storm, pretty damn good against any of Genysis' heroes. If he can pop the Static Storm straight to where the Faceless Void time walks, for example, he's just gonna be completely fine. But everybody is picking up their heroes, so MVP.Phoenix most likely gonna be Slark Disruptor safe lane, Bristleback IO off lane, with a Death Prophet being in the mid lane. Genysis chose not to go for a actual Triangle lane to shut down the Bristleback a little bit more. So now, having a Faceless Void safe lane with a Vengeful Spirit, I think IO Bristleback should do rather well there for themselves. Bristleback should get that, I think maybe early Vanguard into Crimson Scar for him in this game. I guess you don't have to worry too much about Eidolons in most cases, because in actual team fights the Eidolons usually are not present at all. But it might still be a worthwhile just pick up. There is a reasonable amount of right click coming out of Genysis anyway, so just trying to keep the IO alive a little bit longer, for example, might be worth it. But MVP.Phoenix, are they struggling with just what hero to choose for what player, or... I hope there's no disconnects or anything. Oh, there is. Oh, they're rejoining after ban pick, okay. So yeah, they are reconnecting now. I guess it's taking just a little bit longer. Nobody said anything about the remake. They should be just reconnecting for some weird reason. No clue why exactly, but... if they're coming back, I'm going to find March, picks up the Bristleback, so... that's a good omen already as it is. Goddamn guys, pick up your heroes, get into the game. This is gonna take forever, isn't it? More people, okay, looks like at least the majority of them have come back. Genysis, even for them, one hero has yet to pick up their, or one player has yet to pick up their hero. So MVP, for team fights, it is mostly about how well Disruptor can just position himself, as well as how well can he use his abilities to stop the black hole, how to get the Static Storm, maybe even Kinetic Field if necessary. But just Static Storm onto the Faceless Void to delay the initial... to delay the initial Chronosphere from coming out. Then just the Death Prophet normal silence can follow. And Faceless Void most likely will not have a super fast BKB or anything, unless it really takes off in this game. But up against the IO Bristleback lane, it shouldn't be all that easy for him to farm up on the safe lane, with only a Vengeful Spirit helping him out. Well, guys, here we are, MVP.Phoenix versus Genysis in this best of 3 series for the IE League Season number 2 Southeast Asian Qualifier. This is the semi-final for it, so whoever wins this best of 3 will be a step closer to actually qualifying as well. They still have one more best of 3 after this to go through, which is going to be played out tomorrow at 12 CET, 19 SGT. But in any case, to introduce the lineups for MVP, Forev playing the Slark, leaving Ryzen on the IO, with March playing the Bristleback, Heen on the Disruptor, and the last one will be QO on the Death Prophet. As for Genysis, Andy on the Centaur Warrunner, with 343 on the Faceless Void, leaving Nana on the Razor, QWERTY playing the Vengeful, and the last one is going to be Vexus on the Jungle Enigma. So, MVP, are they gonna go like really abusive and actually try to make the Enigma's life a living hell, or will they just purely focus on kind of gimping the farm on the Faceless Void? Faceless Void does come with a straight off 4-man shield though, so he's rather prepared than at least just soaking up or exchanging some right clicks. As the creeps have spawns. So both offlaners, or both offlanes, should have a reasonable time. Centaur may be a little bit harder just because you're up against a Glimpse and of course the Pounce on Slark as well. So first the Pounce lands, keeps you in place, then the Kinetic Field might come up as well after the Pounce. It really depends on how many levels Disruptor gets. But Centaur definitely should have a just worse time than a Bristleback IO combination on the other offlane. QWERTY though already wants to come in for the mid lane, but this Observer Ward will scout things out, so QO should not be in trouble, although Faceless Void in the mid lane. Oh, it's... I guess Razor's definitely better against the Bristleback safe lane. I'm too sure how I even missed that. I completely thought that it's going to be Faceless Void safe lane and Razor mid lane against Death Prophet, but I guess Poor Man's Shield makes a little bit more sense now. Does even bring out more tangos for himself. So that's just some gold wasted for consumables, which could have just been focused on something like a bottle, for example. But he should be getting reasonable farms just because the lane is under his own tower. QO though, doing a pretty nice job of both last hitting as well as denying as well. So looking good for him so far, as the Prophet should just kind of win this lane anyway. Maybe not by a huge margin, but he should be able to win it. Just Crypt Swarm, so spammable, you can just easily get last hits with that. Although Poor Man's Shield plus that early point into backtrack as well on Faceless Void might just be enough for him to feel relatively safe in the lane anyway. As March, farming up the side stack at this point in time. QWERTY really can't do much of anything about this. Although once he gets level 2, he gets slowed down by the Nasal Goo now. Are they really going for the kill? It sure looks like it. Can there be any help at all for QWERTY? I don't think so. Should be the kill with some bottle just back up for March to have enough mana to actually spam out the Goo and the Quill Spray. So that's going to be an easy first blood for March. I mean, the Vengeful Spirit, it's not like he was horribly out of position or anything, but just no boots means easy chase, especially with the Tither extra movement speed. So first blood picked up by March's Bristleback. That's going to be maybe an early Ring of Health for him, depending on how much region he wants to go for. He might of course just go for straight off boots as well. But the start, extremely well for them, or going extremely well. 6-1 in last is compared to a 9-4 Razor. Slark though, he's completely owning them all, 16-6. So Razor cannot even be compared, although they are both on the safe lane just farm. And in the meantime, almost level 3 on the centaur, already had to use some mana. Just has dropped a little bit lower on health as well and doesn't bring any consumables with him, just a clarity to get the hoof stomps going, I guess. Slark started with his own Poor Man's Shield as well. He's going for Power Treads next, not going for the Greed at all by the looks of it, no Midas, no nothing. Which I kind of have to say I support. Because if they can start fighting earlier, then Genysis gets the fights, but Nana, he's gonna go down as well. One more Quill Spray might do the trick. March, does he have enough mana? Yes, he does, with Ryzen providing the mana to him with the last bottle charge. So make it another kill. They are just going balls deep, and that's Power Treads finished on Bristleback. That's early, 3.5 minutes in. Sitting on only 8 last hits as well. Just the kills, they're gonna help them out a crap ton. Now not only is it gonna help out MVP, it's gonna set back Genysis by quite a lot. At least Razor, just purely with last hits, still doing slightly better, but you cannot compare just a couple of last hits to a first blood and a secondary kill as well. But Tranquil Boots are finished now on Centaur, so he can actually get some health back, thank God for him. Otherwise, things would have looked a little bit hairy for him. As Io gets to bottle up a bounty rune, so refill bottle charges. March is getting some damage stolen from him. The exact same movement speed on Razor and both Bristleback, so 70 points of damage stolen. I don't think they're gonna go on the aggressive when the static link damage is stolen like that. They're probably gonna wait it out and then maybe go on Razor, or try to go at least. And Razor hasn't gone for a value point into Unstable Current. It would be probably one of the best abilities to just safeguard him, just because Bristleback, he wants to goo you at all times. So every time he goos you, he's gonna get just purged and slowed down. That would pretty much kind of ensure your safety, but QWERTY goes for the stun onto March. Is it still gonna be enough? They are diving this, they don't care, tier 2 or no. They are just gonna go for it, balls freaking deep. One more right click, they do get the kill. Ryzen picks it up. March already on the run, they still have one bottle charge, they're dropping rather low. But will they make it out? 3 for 3 comes in as well. There's the Malphite onto Ryzen, that's gonna be the one kill, and without him, March probably cannot escape this, especially with Andy coming in as well. Even Razor makes a showing there with the Plasma Field. But Andy picks up the kill, so some nice XP for them. Suddenly level 4.5 for the Centaur. That was just a little bit too deep. Or if, then just run back this way. Although they knew that probably somebody is coming from there. So they do overextend now, giving away 2 kills. Lots of XP just given away. Faceless Void gets some gold as well. Looking at the mid lane though, 18 last hits on the Faceless Void, 26 on the Death Prophet. I've seen Invokers getting owned harder than this Faceless Void is at the moment. So Faceless Void doing fairly well for himself. QO though has activated the Exorcism. It's only level 1, just level 6 Exorcism, you don't see it that often. But he's gonna go for 3 for 3 with the Disruptor coming in as well. The Glimpse is used. Can he time walk his way to safety? Probably so. The Thunderstruck is not enough, but the last Ghost. The last Ghosts follow him. They get the kill. Disruptor destroys the tower. Lots of gold for him. Can actually pick up boost of speed. As QWERTY getting chased by Raisin, or Raisin running into an Enigma. Is he gonna even be safe? Malphite will not come out. There it is. A little bit late though. Had he come out immediately with just the Eidolon's right clicking, might have been enough. Although Bristleback did come in to meet him for the tether. But QO, he's already on the bottom lane as well. Doesn't have the exorcism yet, but they want to go for something anywhere though. 3 for 3, he has the Chronosphere, he's gonna find Heen as well. Thunderstrike is used, but not enough mana for a glimpse, even if it wasn't on cooldown. The Chronosphere was used for this though, just because the kinetic field otherwise maybe even would have prevented the kill from happening. So, if you're MVP, you probably take this as a small victory, in a sense that the Chronosphere will be on cooldown, so you can actually freely push. The pounce will miss Andy though, so that's gonna kind of make it so that Centaur will not die here. Even if the pounce had landed, he might still have been safe. Just wait the pounce. Whoa, they're gonna go again. There's the pounce, it's gonna land. That's gonna be the death of Andy. He just took too much damage before this pounce landed. But Vexus now comes in onto QO. He does have the black hole. Doesn't want to pop Soul Ring black hole into it though. Just because another pounce Dark Pact to follow by Slark might be the end of him if he activates the Soul Ring like that. But mid lane, Fizz's Void still only about 8 last hits behind. So just that early value point into backtrack and starting with 4-man shield has done very well for himself. Of course, he even rotated away. Then again, Death Prophet was also on the bottom lane for quite some time now. But if they get the tier 1 down with the next push of Slark, it's all gonna be worth it. Of course, they got the kill on Centaur as well, so it made it kind of worth it anyway. In the meantime, he's gonna be stacking up the Ancients. So, gonna be ensuring even more gold, which Bristleback can rather easily farm up later on. But they're gonna find Vexus, maybe, never mind, they don't have proper vision on him. Daytime does hit again, so it's a little bit easier for them to go for ganks again, just because if they have more vision, it means you know how to react to the enemy's movement. But now March, he's in some trouble. If the stuns just come out in time, March turns around, pops the unstable current with a goo. And now he might be in a crap ton of trouble. And that's exactly it, right? And he even comes in straight into the black hole with the tether. Oh god, even the stampede was used there. Hoof stomp, not necessary from Andy. That tether, it had good intentions, but you came, like, it was a bait kind of from Genysis. But really nicely done. Razor, he was doing it solo while the other 3 heroes were coming in. Now bottom lane, it is getting pushed in. They even popped the exorcism for this. Look at how low this tower was, but they want to ensure the kill. 3 for 3. Has another Chronosphere. Is he gonna go for it? No, he's not. Andy, of course, doesn't have the blink dagger to properly follow up. So that's just a tower deny. QO cannot really do much more of anything, I think, unless Andy wants to stick around. QO, he is pulling them, but more TPs are coming. A 3 for 3 can easily just Chrono and kill him if need be, but the regeneration rune activated. The Exorcism Spirits. There's the IO coming in. Time Walk, 4th away from 3 for 3. The Spirit's still doing the damage, but another Crypt Swarm a little bit too late from QO. So he does escape, but then again they do not get counter kills or anything. They had a Chronosphere, but maybe shouldn't have chased the Prophet solo. If you're the focus of even a level 1 Exorcism, you just die so fast. But in the meantime, Vexus, going for a mech for their team, does have, or is like halfway through it, whereas Bristleback, he only needs the recipes and another 500 gold away from it. So Bristleback gonna get his faster, also has power trace on top of that, of course. Net worth wise, not a huge difference because Enigma, he's had the most free time of Genysis in general. And well, the first black hole he used was a pretty damn successful one as well, but they might want to go for March, or they might attempt it at least. Never mind. With the 2 heroes only being there, I guess they think they're not gonna have enough damage to just bring down the Bristle anyway. Plus, they don't even know where IO is, I believe. IO not being with the Bristleback, coming towards the bottom lane instead, just... They have this vision, they see Andy, but can they punish Andy as well? Never mind, they're gonna go on to Nana QO now. There's the Stampede, Time Walk forward, there's the Chronosphere, catches all 3. Unfortunately, catches Vexus as well, so no Midnight Pulse, but they stun up QO. March on the run does go down to 1 more right click and the Plasma Field of Razor. So they get the 2 cores down. MVP, they started off hot on the top lane, but now they are bleeding heroes in Genysis. They are just coming in as a group, getting a couple of kills, and maybe can they transition this into a tier 1 as well? I mean, with the Eidolons, in theory they should have a pretty fast push, and suddenly with those kills, Vexus is only 220 gold away from having the mech. So once they get the tower, that's gonna be mech finished. March comes in as well. So they're not going to give away this tower too easily. Midnight Pulse is down though. Do they have the Black Hole? No, they do not. They don't even have enough mana for it. And Kinetic Field keeps them in place. Do they have the Exorcism as well? They do if they want to really chase this March. With the Goo, with the Glimpse of the Vexus, that's going to be the casualty. Enigma going to go down. In the meantime, Slark finds a solo kill onto the center Warrunner. So they are getting back some momentum towards their own side. But the TP is coming in. Plasma Field, a few more right clicks, pounds. He gets to safety. Blink is there for him as well. Shadow Dance, of course, activated. So he's going to be fine. Nana, of course. It's not like he popped the Eye of the Storm just for the Slark. He had it activated before. But there's the relocate coming in, Nana. He's in a crap ton of trouble now. He got the Plasma Field onto Forever. So they knew he is there. But QWERTY comes in. Can he swap somebody in? He can. Right, and they need to bring him down within 5 seconds as well. With the double edge, it's gonna be within their grasp. And he gets the last hit as well. Gonna get a little bit closer to the blink. Still gonna be a rather slow blink, to be honest. But better late than never. And with this, Vicious Void has himself a Mask of Madness finished now as well. As they do smoke up with Vexus. The two of them, they don't have a Chronosphere, but Kyo, he might be in trouble anyway. Are they gonna go for it? Malphite comes out first. Mask of Madness. Static Storm is there though. He stops the Black Hole from coming up, but Stampede to slow them down. There's the Time Walk over. They even can pop an Invis Rune if they need it. 343 picks it up just in case. There's the Magic Missile. March comes in, but the Midnight Pulse will be enough with a few more right clicks. But Forever Blink pounce onto QWERTY. That's gonna be an easy kill on the Vengeful Shadow Dance activated. And they're gonna go for even more unless 343 wants to go for Raisin. If only Andy had himself a Blink Dagger right about now. March, he's stacking up the damage with the Quill Sprays. They're gonna lose Andy to the double edge, more or less. Slark gets a triple kill for himself. He cleans house up to another 2k gold. And suddenly 4 heroes of Genysis are dead. I mean, getting the Death Prophet all well and good, but they just need a little bit more in those cases. They kind of needed a Razor to be there properly with the Plasma Fields, with just static linking people down. So that is a mech finished on Bristleback, and Enigma unfortunately did not manage to finish up his own before the death. And Nana, he's even going for drums by the looks of it. Would have expected maybe straight off Aghanim's, but some extra movement speed will never hurt you, especially up against Bristleback, who's going to be slowing you down so much with a Goo. Although if you try to slow down the Razor, you are going to get slowed down by the Purge of the Unstable Current. But it still helps out the teammates, if nothing else, maybe just being able to outrun the Bristleback. Even popping the drums in a crucial timing might just get you out of Kinetic Field, for example. But Yule Scepter now picked up from the Death Prophet. Looking at the graphs as well, it has been a lead for MVP pretty much the entire game, but now it has skyrocketed with just the last engagement, up to a 6,000 net worth, about 3k as well, or XP rather, about 3k. Mech is done now in the Enigma at least, so both sides will have the Enigma, or the Mech to work with. As Forever, going for a straight off Skadi by the looks of it, has the first ultimate orb in the inventory already as well. So Slark, pretty damn stacked for himself. Bristleback, it's not like he has a little amount of farm. Already has himself a vitality booster as well. Might be a casual one into... Well, never mind, 343, he's going to get jumped. Can they get the silence as well? Thunderstrike, they don't even need the silence or well. They did use it, but they just got the kill anyway. Really well done. The Prophet even has a haste throw bottled up, and now with a level 2 exorcism, they are going to go for the tier 2. That was pretty much the perfect transition. March was pushing out top lane as it was. Then they came in with a smoke gank, and suddenly that is going to be a tower going down. Well, the glyph was used, but it's only going to delay the inevitable by about 5 seconds. Exorcism, it definitely lasts long enough to outlast the glyph. But Genysis, they're trying to get a trade-off, but they don't have a medallion, so even only with a level 2 Wave of Terror, it's going to take them so damn long to take this. MVP, there's even a chance that they can come in with a Kinetic Field, Static Storm. They can just win the fight, as well as get Roshan potentially. Black Hole will be up in another 16 seconds though. But looks like MVP, they have no idea this is going on. So I guess Genysis have done a fairly decent job of just warding around the Roche pit. So that's Aegis for Nana. Blink there picked up a 90, but Forever he comes in, Blink, pounce. There is the relocate as well. If only they had the Black Hole. One more second. Can Vexus stay alive and go for the Black Hole? Yes, he can. Aegis is popped, but he's going to get glimpsed almost immediately. Forever gets the kill with the pounce QWERTY. Gonna go down next. Negative Earn. Nana will not be able to TP out with the Yule Scepter of QO, throwing him up in there. So I guess they do not stop the erosion for... Oh, the Chronosphere will catch too. But it's not even going to be enough. He's going to get Heen. But that's about it. Chronosphere ends and 343 Out of mana, just slowed down. Mask of Madness takes even more damage than normally a Crypt Swarm would do. For Ev though, on the run from Andy, does make it out as well. Just Centaur not quite fast enough to catch up to a Slark. So that's a 4-for-0 fight, or 4-for-1 rather. Excuse me, he did die on the Disruptor. But MVP.Phoenix, they are just completely snowballing, out of control. Just look at the Bristleback all of a sudden. Or well, not Bristleback, even the Slark, 8.4k net worth. Genysis highest, 4.9. That's a Crimson Scar finished. He got the mech like, what, 2-3 minutes ago? This is some crazy ass farm coming out. The graphs, suddenly 12k net worth lead. XP 7,000 just about. So if you're Genysis, you still have the huge ultimates. So even if MVP, they are completely just snowballing and they're ahead by quite a huge margin, it doesn't mean that Genysis cannot come back. Just because going high ground, even if you have the exorcism so you can do it from a relative safe distance, you don't actually have to go up the stairs yourself. It is still gonna be rather hard for you to kind of do anything there. Just because Faceless Void time walks in, pops the chrono. Unfortunately, Enigma doesn't have a blink for Genysis, nor does he have a BKB. If he got the BKB though, that would be an uninterrupted black hole. Nothing could stop it. Unless you have like an Aghanim Disruptor and he gets the Static Storm before you activate the BKB. But there's a Blink Dagger picked up on an IO now. Like, what? Guess he wants to be able to close the distance easier, just because he's going to stay extremely far back. Whoever gets chronoed is going to blink in relocate tether, maybe something like that. But MVP, they are going for the last outer tower of the game. Forever, he's going to blink in, pounce, looking for Vexus, does miss it up, but QO pops his exorcism. The slow is there, Yule Scepter used as well. Do they have another pounce? Not off cooldown yet, but they're trying to body block. Another coup with the tether slow comes out. That's a kill March. He's just popping the Crimson card, standing on the high ground, doesn't care at all. Mech comes out. They're all healthy. Tier 2 will fall. From the sidelines, Andy trying to come in, maybe. But Stampede already cooldown. QO drops extremely low to something, but as the spirits will return to him, he's gonna be fine. Unless he gets healed up by the IO before already. But he just TP's top lane. Gets most of his health back. Sometimes when you TP while the spirits are returning to you, they actually don't and you don't get back to full HP. I think this is what might have happened here as well. But he's going for a Bloodstone, has the soul booster already, so just gonna tank up that way. And now Kinetic Field comes out. They're not gonna catch anybody though, a little bit preemptive maybe. But of course, does make it so that March will not get picked up either. 17-11 the kill score. MVP's free cores extremely stacked compared to what Genysis have. I mean, the Faceless Voids, Mask of Madness and Power Treads, it's not that scary at all. Even though Chronosphere is scary, there's not the just craziest amount of follow-up damage into the Chronosphere at this point in time, unfortunately. And this game is it really only 20 minutes? And it feels a little bit longer. Net worth 14,000 advantage now, 8k in XP as well. Just a straight line towards the top. That's a Soul Ring, well, that's the entire Bloodstone finish on QO. Going to TP back in, pick it up. Wants to start tracking up the charges as fast as he can. So Genysis, they are going for maybe a BKB on the Razor by the looks of it. Might be an Aghanim Scepter still as well with the Ogre Club. But they really need anything that would either just help them stay properly in the fight. Although even a BKB does not guarantee your safety just because you're up against an Exorcism, which is physical, a Bristleback, which is pretty much 100% physical as well, who has also picked up a Plate Mail now, so he's getting even tankier. Just Genysis, they don't have too much magical damage working for them, to be honest. I mean, they have a reasonable amount, but normally they would have to just rely on Faceless Void right clicks, maybe the Razor right clicks as well. Double Edge will be nice with the Hoof Stomp and Stampede. Midnight Pulse might be one of their greatest assets, if they can properly get it off and just keep the targets in it. Which, with a Chronosphere, Hoof Stomp and a Black Hole in theory you should. But looks like Genysis, they have done just, or they're done waiting around. They're gonna group up, go for a tier 1 of their own. Not too sure if MVP are gonna just go and react, or if they're just gonna force a tier 3 of their own. I mean, they have the Exorcism ready, So they might as well go for straight of tier 3 as they see so many target heroes of the enemy side at the tier 1. Slark does finish his Eye of Skadi now, so that's maybe what they were waiting for. Yeah, they're gonna go in, pop the Exorcism. TPs are coming handy. Can you get the perfect initiation? So far, it has been a little bit lackluster. March, of course, not the priority target to go for either. He's just tanking it up in the front lines. QO sitting at the back. They pop the mech. The Crimson Guard keeps them alive for a little bit longer, and that's a tier 3 down. It's only 21 minutes in. They cannot afford to lose Arcs. They have to defend. They have to fight now. And there's gonna be a Chronosphere. Nope, Yule Scepter comes out. Can you get the silence? The Static Storm comes out and Pounce in the meantime. Vexus gets the Black Hole onto Forever, but only onto Forever. He gets the Shadowlands off anyway. Hoofstomp is there, gets the Dark back, Pounce to the low ground, and now they're on the run, March, playing the zoning duties. But they do back off for now, or do they? 3 for 3, gonna come back in, still has the Chrono, pops it onto QO. It's not gonna be enough with the overcharge. He's just so damn healthy, and 3 for 3 now. He's on the run, March. He's rather tanky. And is he gonna be tanky enough? Well, it's tanky to get the Faceless Void, and they're gonna be next for him. Gets the pounce on him. 3 heroes down. GG is called MVP. Completely overrun Genysis. 22-minute victory for them. They started off well. Then they had a couple of minutes of just kind of hesitation. Genysis grouped up, used their ultimates, got a couple of counter kills, even got the XP lead for a little while. But in the end, this was just too massive of a snowball coming up from MVP. Really well done from just the laning to pretty much the drafting and everything. If of course Genysis had gotten off to even a slightly better start, this high ground push would not have happened this fast. But Bristle back in the front line, Death Prophet backing up or from the back lines just with the Exorcism. Really good stuff. So MVP.Phoenix, another clean win. We'll see if they can take another 2-0 sweep, or if Genysis can actually make this a series and come back towards the game 3. But in any case, thank you so much guys for tuning in. I do hope you enjoyed the game and the cast, and we'll be back with game number 2 in just a couple of minutes time.